But you're talking about throwing the economy to the wolves, actually to its twin gods, where one of them is Aboriginal heritage. The other, of course, is global warming. Energy Minister Chris Bowen, look, we've talked about him many times. This is really quite extraordinary. He's already had two of his global warming schemes blow up in his face in just the past month, Matt. He backed green hydrogen. We talked about that, only to have Australia's biggest investor in green hydrogen back off and say it was too expensive. He then backed SunDrive, saying this Sydney company could build solar panels here, only to have the company sack staff just 2 weeks ago and said it was changing direction. And now a third embarrassment. Early this month, Chris Bowen announced a new deal with Ampol.
This money that we're announcing today will support Ampol in rolling out 200 new chargers by 2025. And this is key.
Sounds good, but just 2 weeks later now, Ampol says no, it's not actually possible to do that. Not possible to expand the number of charging bays from 92 to 300 by the end of this year because of difficulties connecting chargers to the grid. Matt Canavan, how many embarrassments before Chris Bowen resigns in disgrace?
Well, it should be 3 strikes you're out, shouldn't it? I mean, you've listed 3 there. There are a few others as well. There's the $275 cut. Electricity prices is probably well up, but already shouldn't be batting for Australia anymore. I mean, the guy is a walking disaster, let's face it. Almost every ministerial position he's touched, he's been a complete failure in. This is just the latest example. I mean, can we just return to a world where the customer is always right? We have a situation right now where large businesses, governments in the case of this minister, Chris Bowen, want to tell everybody else what they should buy, whether it's electric cars, whether it's green energy. They want to tell us whether it's hydrogen, whether they want to tell us what we should buy. Why don't we just let the Australian individual consumer make up their own mind? If you want to buy an electric car, good luck to you. And if enough people buy them, I'm sure commercial companies will install electric chargers to service the people who want to charge their own electric cars. But if there's not enough, well, they won't happen. I mean, we do not need the government to be looking over our shoulders here and deciding for us what car we should drive, what energy we should use, and we're even saying what we should say online. Let's get them out of our lives. That's the best way to return to a prosperous economy and maintain our free and open society too.
Matt, I'm just about out of time, really, but I need to ask you this because this is the wider context of where this sort of idiocy leads us to. We've got China slowing, we've got iron ore prices falling through the floor, and we really depend on our mineral exports, etc. But now, BlueScope Steel, its profits have been cut because power costs here are 3 times more than the competition overseas, thanks to global warming policies, among other things, meaning China can make steel cheaper and steal our markets. This is so ominous, Matt.
It's very concerning because, again, we're installing renewable energy at a faster rate than anywhere in the world. We're told that renewable energy is the cheapest form of power. If that is the case, why is BlueScope paying double for its electricity than it does in the US? It has operations in the US, double for electricity, and 3 times. It's paying 3 times the price for its gas. If renewable energy is so cheap, why is it having to suffer through those costs? The US is following a different route. They produced a record amount of oil last year, a record amount. No country's ever produced as much oil in 1 year as the US did last year. We're just mugs for going along with this, when almost all the rest of the world, including Joe Biden-led United States, is not, and we're losing our jobs because of it.
And look, if China really does get to go down the gurgler, this country is going to get the biggest recession in our lifetimes. Matt Canavan, thank you so much for your time.